The Orion Area Chamber was forced to find a new home in 2024, and they celebrated the move with an open house and ribbon-cutting ceremony in February. 138 fifth graders were quizzed on 10 books during the library's Battle of the Books competition, now in its 40th year. Which team came out on top? Stay tuned to find out. The Orion Art Center hosted its second annual 24-hour art challenge as local artists competed for money and glory. And a popular Lake Orion restaurant recently experienced a rebranding just in time for St. Patrick's Day. Hello everyone, I'm Stacy Calloway. I'll have those stories and more on this edition of ONTV News. With Orion Township selling part of the Orion Center to the school district, the Chamber of Commerce, who occupied space in the building, was forced to find a new place to call home. After some wheeling and dealing, the Chamber began a move in the fall and have settled into their new location. On Thursday, February 27th, members of the community were invited to the Spresser Ogden building on Chadbolt Street in Lake Orion to celebrate the official grand opening of the brand new office of the Orion Chamber of Commerce.
1, 2, 3, Chamber! So 2 weeks ago, we had that plan, February 13th, doing the whole We Love Small Business theme, which we wound up keeping, but we had to cancel because the chamber weather was not cooperative. We had a big snow day. So we just blasted it out there, and all the people that came out here to to celebrate with us today, it was just so heartwarming. And I think we have spoken before about when it's your day, it is truly special. And we do so many ribbon cuttings at the chamber. You do forget when it is your own how really special, and all the love and support you see from the community and your friends and relatives and whatnot that will come out to wrap their arms around you and help lift you up and support you.
Coincidentally, the new office is right across the street from the office space the chamber used to occupy from 2014 to 2018. In June of 2018, the chamber hosted a picnic on the grounds of the Orion Center and announced that their offices would be moving into the building. In early 2024, the chamber got word that Orion Township would be selling their portion of the building and they would have to find yet another location to operate out of. President and CEO Joyce Donaldson approached Bill Ogden of Spresser Ogden, and they reached an agreement to move into space available at the law practice in downtown Lake Orion. The move took place in October, and the business community came together to help with the transition.
So what was really great was last year we developed a trades, builders, and suppliers peer-to-peer network. So I had 50 members at my fingertips that I had to ask, can you move us? Can you donate this? Can you donate that? And everybody stepped up to the plate. Everybody from the sign company to carpets to rugs to the TV that we have here. And then furniture assembly was a big one. So purchase the furniture, but who is going to put all that furniture together? Because the majority of the white furniture here is all new and kind of designed specifically for this space. We have a few more projects that are still to come, but we've had architects come in and talk about, maybe placing a faux wall, and then just a couple other things. But other than that, we're almost complete. So way back in October, we decided that in February we were going to have the ribbon cutting. And so we've been talking about this ribbon cutting and getting super excited for a long time now.
Not only did the open house celebrate the move into new digs, the chamber is also celebrating 75 years of service to Lake Orion's business community.
So the chamber really helps promote business, right? So with that, we host a lot of networking events. We help support new businesses when they start up, telling them the right places to go and different ways to get themselves immersed into the community. We also have advocacy, so we advocate on behalf of the small businesses. So we do a lot of things. So a lot of people, chambers of commerce are throughout the country, right? There's 7,000 chambers in the United States. and 28, I believe, just in Oakland County.
Oh, wow.
And so chambers are just known, across the nation and across the world, actually, of helping promote and support small business. So we are all about small business, right? And we do our best. I think that we have really a great reputation within the community, which is why folks will come to us, and we connect people. So we have lots of networking events, we have structured networking events, we have volunteer opportunities.
1 week later, it was business as usual for the Chamber as they hosted a networking event for Lake Orion's female entrepreneurs. On Friday, March 7th, the Orion Area Chamber hosted their third annual Orion Women's Professionals Networking Luncheon at 313 Pizza Bar in downtown Lake Orion to coincide with International Women's Day. Approximately 50 women attended the sold-out event, which allows them to introduce themselves and share information about their business.
Hear from the buzz in the room. Everybody's just super happy to be here, gathering together in support of each other. International Women's Day is Saturday, which is tomorrow. So it's a great opportunity for women to get together, to mentor each other, to inspire each other, and commune with their fellow colleagues.
Over the past year or so, the Chamber has seen an increase in women-owned businesses celebrating their grand openings in the Orion area.
There is definitely a growing trend. More and more businesses are women-owned, and it's not, a lot of times it's a single lady, but more and more it's a collaborative of women that are getting together to own businesses, and we have quite a few of them here today, where it's not just one person running that business, but it's multiple people, and they're supporting each other, and so we love that. I mean, it does seem that when we have ribbon cuttings like yesterday, a woman-owned business, everybody does, other women definitely come out to support that. It just happens organically.
The Chamber is gearing up for their annual Women of Inspiration Luncheon in May at the Buell Estate at Addison Oaks and will host another networking event for women in the fall. For more information about upcoming Chamber events and networking opportunities, you can call 248-693-6300 or visit orionareachamber.com. The Orion Township Public Library is always looking for ways to make reading fun. One way they do that is by hosting an annual reading competition that began 4 decades ago. On the morning of Saturday, March 8th, 138 fifth graders, making up 33 teams, gathered at Walden Middle School for the 40th annual Battle of the Books competition. Hosted by the Orion Township Public Library, the students were given 10 books to read back in November.
Variety. So we have books like in verse, so poetry books, nonfiction, graphic novels, realistic fiction. We have books like just so kids get a taste of different genres that they may not pick up on their own.
On the day of the event, the students were presented with 50 questions and had to respond with the correct title and author for a possible total of 100 points. Many of the teams wore colorful costumes and some even brought props and backdrops.
Well, it's one of the most fun events we do per year, but we like to do it because we want kids excited to read. We want to introduce kids to books, just reading for fun, reading for pleasure, and not worrying about reading because they have to, just kind of reading because they want to.
I'm observing a lot of energy, which is pretty common for Battle of the Books. I think the kids always bring a ton of energy. It's a lot of fun. I love seeing it because it's just kids enjoying reading. It's a good team activity that they can develop reading skills. So.
On the following Tuesday, the students returned for a victory party at Lake Orion High School. Before announcing the winners, the students were treated to a presentation by Rebecca Mix, author of The Moss Heart's Promise, one of the 10 books the students read for Battle of the Books. A Lake Orion native now residing in Royal Oak, the author took part in Battle of the Books back in 2006.
I think it's wonderful. It's such a great way to get kids who love reading and also maybe kids who are a little bit reluctant to get into reading because they want to hang out with their friends, and it also just exposes them to books they wouldn't pick up otherwise. As an author, I love it, but also as someone who was a reluctant reader and didn't love reading when I did Battle of the Books and found books I loved, I think it's so great. So the kids and I are going to do what I call build a book. I'm going to walk them through how you build a story from an idea, because when I talk to kids that love reading and writing, they go, how do I write? I'm going to give them the framework on how to do that.
Following the presentation, each team was called up on stage for a photo op. Then the team awards handed out. The award for Best Team Name went to the Read-A-Lots. Coming away with the most creative costume award were the Prisoners of Doom, and the best team spirit award went to the chapter Chads. Finishing in third place with 93 points out of 100 was Team Gotta Read Them All. In second place with 94 points was Team Readers Club. And named the winners of the 40th Annual Battle of the Books with 95 points was Team Sly Spies, representing Paint Creek Elementary School.
I was very scared, and I was like, still, my heart was pounding, but like, I was like, oh, we didn't place. I was so scared. But then when she said, like, the awards, people, and I was so happy. Like, I was so happy. It was very scary.
What was your reaction?
I was kind of nervous, like, if they forgot about us. But when they said that, like, if you weren't called yet, that there were, like, still awards left, that I was really excited to see what we got.
That's awesome. What was your reaction, and what do you think is the main reason you guys won?
I think the main reason is we just had like all the spelling and we read the books a lot, and when they said that like the winners weren't announced yet, I was kind of in shock for a second, and then I just got really excited.
That's awesome. What do you think the key to winning was, and what was your reaction?
When they didn't call us, I was like, oh, they're not ready yet, they're just taking a quick break. And then when she just started talking about it, I was like, oh wait, did they actually forget us? But then she was like, no, don't worry, we still have some to hand out, and then we're going to do awards. And I think the key to winning is being focused, not messing around too much, and like, we would meet every Sunday, and we would practice what it would be like at battle, and we had all the spelling right, we had all the punctuation, and we even had actually smaller cards when we would practice, so I think that helped a lot for us to win.
As I said earlier, Battle of the Book celebrated its 40th year in 2025. Let's go back in time to 1995 when the 10th annual event was held in the library's meeting room. The team representing St. Joseph's School claimed the title 30 years ago.
Students at Pine Tree Elementary were challenged to defend their title as fifth graders from each elementary school had to answer 20 questions based on the assigned stories. Each correct answer merited 2 points, and a bonus point was added if the story's author could be named. Organizer Linda Nixon described the purpose of the event.
It gets the boys and girls to read books that they wouldn't even look at, because I picked the award winners, I picked a mixture. I mean, we have fun books, and we have animal stories, and historical fiction, and science fiction, and the classics and such, but some of them wouldn't read anything except Ann Martin's Babysitter's Club or some of the sports books, and this gets them into something else.
Though a few schools stayed close throughout most of the event, one school began to pull away toward the end, and when the final numbers were confirmed, the students representing St. Joseph's School came out on top. Fifth grader Teresa Olson described the key to winning.
Well, we tried to each read all 10 books, and then during the last week we had 2 were our specialties, and that's how we answered them, because each person gets 2 books to specialize in.
Well, I learned a lot about teamwork and how to be prepared for things, and how if you're prepared you can win, and that you're always the winner if you win or lose.
That it doesn't mean everything that you have to win, and it's hard to participate against other classes, and it's kind of hard to read 10 books, but we got them all finished and we won. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed taking part in this because I thought it was a fun thing to do, and I also like to read.
I learned that the books are really interesting, and it's fun being in the battle. It gave me a chance to learn about some other types of books that you could read, and it gave me a chance to make some better friends.
For more information on the library's upcoming events and programs, you can call 248-693-3000 or visit orionlibrary.org. Throughout the year, the Orion Art Center offers numerous classes and hosts exhibits featuring the work of local artists. Recently, the Art Center hosted an event that really challenges artists of all ages. On the morning of Saturday, February 22nd, 16 artists arrived at the Orion Art Center's Moose Tree Studio on Clarkson Road for the start of the second annual 24-hour art challenge. At the kickoff, each artist was assigned an obscure word and a photograph and encouraged to create a work of art that captured the essence of the assignment, done in the style of a travel poster.
They really had no idea what they were going to do when they got here. And when we first got here, everyone was introducing themselves. Why are they here? Why did they want to come? And many of the artists did say they're looking for a challenge. You know, we've done the same thing over and over again, and this is just a new way of creating outside the box. But it really makes your brain think, because a lot of the words I didn't even know, and I assume a lot of the artists didn't either. So they had an opportunity to look on their phone and actually know the definition of the word, and you can kind of see light bulbs going off like, oh, okay, all right, that's what that means. So it's just definitely a way to make your brain, if you don't even know a word, and all of a sudden you have to create this piece of artwork from it. It's like a baby learning something from the very beginning.
After a period of brainstorming, the artists worked on their creations for a few hours before taking a pizza break. They were allowed to leave to continue working on their piece before returning on Sunday at 10 a.m. with their finished masterpiece. Freelance artist Dave Chow was given the task of judging the submitted pieces, and cash prizes, scholarships, and gift cards were awarded in a wide variety of categories.
We have like over $3,000 in prizes. So each category, we have two categories. 14 to 22 are the emerging artists, and then the seasoned artists are 23 and up. So each category, the grand prize is $350, and then the runner-up is $250 at Blick Art Supplies. And then we also have a ton of scholarships from, there's Heath Art donated scholarships, CCS donated a couple classes, few gift cards in town. Johnny Black's donated, Accent on Art donated a gift certificate, so there's a lot here.
Taking home the grand prize was Hannah Rhodes of Metamora, whose artwork was inspired by a photo of a large bulldozer and the word effulgent, which means emanating joy and goodness.
I was very thrilled. I'm very grateful. This was just really exciting, something kind of last minute for me, and it feels really great to feel validated as an artist. It was definitely a lot different than what I expected coming into it, and so the challenge was really to create a piece where the viewers can see the story just from a single image, which is very challenging. My prompts were definitely outside of my niche, so it was fun to kind of stretch the boundaries of my own imagination, as well as challenging myself in a subject matter I don't do often.
Author, illustrator Matt Faulkner and artist Eugene Clark brought the idea to the Orion Art Center in 2024. The response was positive, so the event returned in 2025.
You know, one of the things to me is that there seems to be, I'll use the word indigenous, like a deep artist, that these people, they come in here and they can't deny it. And they give, these are really disparate things, a word and a picture. They take it and they come up with these really fantastic results. And that's what I was saying earlier too. They jumped on this and really got rolling really fast. That's what flabbergasted me. And then the result, the color, the line work, it's overwhelming in a way.
Well, it's one thing to say, hey, make an art piece that's finished in 24 hours. That's probably, for any artist, going to feel a little anxious about, like, I gotta finish this in 24 hours, because usually we have a lot longer to spend on our art pieces. So not only was that part of this, but then when we present a set of problems and circumstances that you have to utilize in your work and implement, that changes the whole landscape of what you have to do up here to really conceive of the proper composition and images and symbolism to help get across sort of this storyline.
Just a few weeks later, the Art Center unveiled an exhibit of artwork created by Lake Orion's young aspiring artists. On Thursday, March 13th, the Orion Art Center hosted an opening reception to kick off its annual middle school multimedia show. Art teachers at Walden, Scripps, and Oakview Middle Schools selected pieces created by their students to display at the Art Center throughout the end of March.
This is our middle school show. All 3 middle schools are participating. The art teachers select artwork from the previous semester and bring it here and hang it. I'm not sure how many years it's gone on, at least a decade or more. And it's fun to get everyone out and have the students have an opportunity to see their work hanging on a gallery wall.
For me, it's great. As another young person, I think it's really, really interesting to see, the youth grow up in the arts and see what they're providing now, and then to see what they'll provide later in life as well.
What I look for is like when I see them side by side up in the hallways, which ones jump out for having like strong contrast, proper use of technique in some cases, and just overall kind of jumps off the wall at me. And they're all good, so it makes it hard to, differentiate.
So my students are involved the same way. We do our projects throughout the semester, and then we pick from those chosen projects that we do.
And what criteria do you use, and how difficult is it?
It's very difficult. I use the criteria of what is really standing out, who has spent a lot of time and dedication on their work. I mean, they all have, but I can tell some kids really put their heart into it a little extra.
Next up on the Art Center's calendar is the Joan Brace Scholarship Show. High school students are encouraged to submit up to 3 original works of art in any medium to be eligible for up to $1,000 in scholarship money. The deadline to submit artwork is Wednesday, March 26th, and an opening reception will be held on Saturday, April 5th at 6 p.m. For more information, visit orionartcenter.org and click on upcoming exhibitions. St. Patrick's Day fell on Monday, March 17th, and thanks to some luck of the Irish, Lake Orion residents had a relatively new place to celebrate the holiday. On Thursday, March 13th, representatives of the Chamber of Commerce, the Lake Orion DDA, and local dignitaries gathered in downtown Lake Orion to help Irish Tavern celebrate their rebranding with a ribbon-cutting ceremony.
All right, 1, 2, 3, Irish Tavern! Cut, cut, cut. All right!
It's great. We came to them, to the chamber in November when we were transitioning to the Irish Tavern, and they had so many things going on. They couldn't even fit us in until this date. So that just tells you how integrated into the community they are, and we really appreciate all their help and the DDA's help. They've been instrumental in helping us kind of focus in on how to do it and what to do, and Chris Barnett and his team, they have been very supportive. So, and that's what we expected out of this community when we came in here, and we've gotten everything that we could have hoped for in terms of support from all those different groups and helping us, be part of the community. So.
Over the past 30 years, Burge Young and his partners have opened 6 restaurants in the area, starting with a brewery and bistro in downtown Pontiac. They opened Fork and Pint in downtown Lake Orion in 2017. But the owners felt it was time for a change.
We had a great run as Fork and Pint, and we were looking to kind of give it a facelift and kind of refurbish it. Last spring we started talking about it, and our thought was we were checking out the marketplace, and our other brand, Irish Tavern, there's no Irish restaurants in the area, and downtown there's really not a sports bar. And so in polling, a lot of people didn't know we were polling them, but we were polling them. A lot of people were like, yeah, we need these things downtown. And so it worked out great for us. So that's when we said, let's switch from this to that. And, we've kept our loyal Fork and Pint customers, which has been great. And then we've been making a bunch of new customers and friends as Irish Tavern. So I think it's worked out really well for everybody. And we've had the Irish Tavern for about 18 years, that brand. So we've really honed that menu down. So we brought that over, but since it started as a Fork and Pint, there are a couple of items like the PB&C burger and the Brussels sprouts that I think we would have been hung if we didn't keep those on the menu. So that's the only Irish Tavern restaurant that has a couple of those items like that on it. The other ones don't. So we brought over the whole menu that we've been kind of honing for the last 15 years, plus those couple of menu items.
With St. Patrick's Day celebrated just a few days later, the timing could not have been better as the restaurant enjoyed a busy weekend.
Yeah, this is a big, exciting weekend for us. So it's great. So we've got live music all through the weekend. We've got our corned beef dinner special, which is great. So if you can try it. It's well worth it. And then Monday, obviously, is St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully we get the weather that they're talking about us getting, which would be a sunny day. A little chilly. It's supposed to be like 45, but it'll be a great day to be outside, and I think everybody will enjoy it. And we've got bagpipes coming. We've got bands and DJs, and this is Big Ten championship weekend as well. So a lot of sports are on, ACC championship. So I think everyone's going to have a really good time, and what better place to have it than Irish Tavern.
If you have any questions or would like to view their new and improved menu, visit itlakeorion.com. You can also call them at 248-845-4476. And with that, we'll wrap up this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the hardworking ONTV News team, I'm Stacy Calloway. Thanks for watching.